Welcome to the first ever episode of Sherpas Talking Shop. I'm here with my man Michael McCaffrey. How you doing?
Good, thanks. Glad
Awesome.
to be here.
Good stuff. And today we're going to be talking about how to make a great LinkedIn profile. So firstly, just kicking it off with the most general questions. What makes a strong LinkedIn profile? What kind of characteristics can I develop?
Sure. Well, first of all, you're going to want to think about all the things that you need to do in order to fit in, and then the things that you can do in order to stand out. And it's kind of a good mix of those is what you're going to try to go for. So, as an example, I'm a marketer, so I always want to find a way to be disruptive and find a way to, to stand out and have stopping power.
For sure.
Which is a really good thing, but you don't want to go overboard. So, as an example, you could superimpose your face onto Bugs Bunny. It's going to have stopping power, but it's probably not the right kind of thing you want to be setting up. So you want to kind of find that right mix of stopping power and originality without going overboard and compromising the way that your profile comes together.
Right on. Good stuff. I might have stopping power with the good looks in my profile picture. Number two, how do I make my LinkedIn profile stand out?
Right. So I guess the first step is to tick off all the must-haves. So we'll go into that a little bit later, but you want to have a good profile picture that was taken by a professional, ideally. You want to have your experience filled out, your profile completed to 100%, and recommendations, all those kind of tick boxes. You want to make sure that they're all ticked off. And then once all that's done, you want to find a way to make your profile original. So, what about having a 30-second introduction video to yourself as the first thing that somebody sees when they come to your profile? Or, another kind of unique thing that some people do is change their professional headline. So, when LinkedIn sets it up by default, it says, Stuart Moffat at account manager at Sherpa Marketing. If you wanted to make that more original, you could say, what I do is I say, Michael McCaffrey, technology-driven marketing solutions. So, you change the professional headline from what the default is to something that stands out and resonates better with the people that you care about on LinkedIn.
Right on. So in a sense, you're creating a personal brand.
Exactly.
That's going to connect with people.
Yeah.
Awesome. So in terms of building a network, how do I build a network at my current job while I'm in school? Because I know a lot of students are interested in that. And how do I build it outside my current network?
Yeah. So regardless of where you're at in life, the first thing you want to do when you set up a LinkedIn profile is connect with people that you know. So, if you're a student, you want to connect with your classmates, your friends. Your profs is a really good way of, getting into new circles and new networks through that.
Sure.
If you're in a job, your colleagues, your clients, anyone else that, you kind of network with on a business to business level.
For sure.
So the first step is, bring your personal network into LinkedIn and make sure that everyone that's on LinkedIn in your personal life is connected to you through LinkedIn. That's the first step. And then, there's kind of two schools of thought. A lot of people like to just keep it at a personal relationship. They don't want to have people on LinkedIn connected to them that they don't know in their personal life.
For sure.
And then there's other people that find that they do want to kind of extend their network into LinkedIn and meet people, in different cities, different walks of life, different countries even, just through LinkedIn. And there's a lot of advantages and disadvantages to both, I guess. So you have to decide for yourself if you want to extend your network into LinkedIn beyond your personal circles or keep it to just the people that you know.
Right on. Makes sense. So when I first got my LinkedIn, one of the first things I noticed was I kept getting endorsements, and I didn't know what it was about. And I noticed that it was kind of, when I did started endorsing other people, that it was tit for tat. So I'm just wondering if you can give us your knowledge on what exactly endorsements are they important, and how do you build them?
Sure. Yeah, so endorsements are one of those kind of gray zones of LinkedIn. A lot of people say that they're important, and a lot of people say they're completely worthless. So you have to decide for yourself a little bit. But what I would say is that it's all about perception. If you are or you're looking for an accountant and you find one accountant that has 100 endorsements for accounting services, balancing books, they have great customer service, all kind of relevant skill sets, and then you have another one that has nothing.
Yeah.
Or even stranger, if he had endorsements for things like lawn care or plumbing or unrelated skill sets, you might kind of question whether that's the kind of person you want to be trusting your finances with. So endorsements is kind of just a way of some people don't put a lot of weight on it, some do, but it probably is going to lead you to pick this person over this person. So I would encourage you to spend a little bit of time building those endorsements.
So now that we got a handle on endorsements, what about recommendations? Those, I feel as though have a little more meat to them, a little more meaning. Can you tell us a little bit about recommendations?
Sure. So you can get recommendations on the different, like your past jobs. So your current job, you can get recommendations on that, and any past jobs you can also build recommendations on. The magic number is 2. So LinkedIn's going to show you up to two recommendations per job, and then you can always view to see all of the recommendations. But you want to make sure that you at least have those 2 for each job that you care about people having an opinion on you based on.
Really?
The other thing you want to keep in mind is when you're asking for a recommendation, best way to do it is just to ask someone who you did a great job for. Just write them an email, or LinkedIn makes it really easy to ask for a recommendation through LinkedIn's platform. Just ask them, and make sure that you include within your request what you would like them to include in the recommendation. So rather than just leaving it open-ended, I've found you get a lot better and more meaningful recommendations if you kind of almost write it for them and suggest a lot of the things that you'd like them to say.
For sure.
And if they agree with it, they'll probably tweak the wording a little bit, and they'll put the recommendation through.
Awesome. So for LinkedIn photos, what do you recommend? What works?
Yeah, so as mentioned before, you want to make sure it's a professionally taken photo. There's not really any standards that are set. Some people, like the head and shoulders, it's becoming more current to do kind of a down to the belly kind of picture. Whatever you like, your personal style is completely fine. In terms of how often you should update your photo, again, there's 2 schools of thought. Some people think that you should be updating it every year, whereas other people find that your photo represents your brand, your personal brand on LinkedIn, and you don't want your personal brand changing every 6 months when you feel like taking a new photo. So having a consistent photo is kind of a consistent brand presence.
Yeah, for sure.
Commenting in forums and groups and things like that. And again, you don't want to go overboard with being too creative or anything on your photo. Just make sure that it's clean, looks professional. Overdress as opposed to underdress for the photo, and then just smile. Right on.
So no party pictures, Stu circa 2008. We don't want those ones.
Keep those for Facebook.
Yeah. So I've been invited to a couple different groups on LinkedIn. Can you tell me a bit about groups? How do I join them? What are the benefits?
Sure. Well, groups are easy to join. They're just if you go to the interests tab, you'll see groups there. In terms of which groups you should join, think of it as you're getting a level closer to people that are important. So if one of your really good prospects is in a particular group and you also join that group, you're one level closer to them. So when if you're an accountant and you're in the same group as them, they type in accountants in Winnipeg, you're more likely to show up than the next guy because you have that one level closer of connection with this guy. So there's that kind of, we call it LinkedIn optimization advantage. the other advantage to joining groups is just meeting new people and joining communities where you can, share your expertise and learn from others. It's like any kind of forum or business networking gathering. It's a way to just bring people together and benefit from the collective connections and experience of everyone.
Awesome. So with the keyword being optimized that you just mentioned, are keywords relevant to LinkedIn for searches?
Yeah, it works very similar to the way that Google works, with the added element of LinkedIn factors in how closely related you are to the person doing the search. So in 2012, for an example, there were 6 billion searches done on professional categories. So typing in, accountants or plumbers or whatever. There's 6 billion of those across LinkedIn, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing.
So there's lots of activity within the searches. In order to make yourself more likely to show up in those search results, that's a great way. If you can be the first one or one of the first few that shows up when somebody's looking for a new accountant, you've got a good chance that they're going to look at your profile and size you up to see if you're a good fit for them. It all has to do, other than, of course, how closely personally connected you are to them, it has to do with what kind of keywords are on your site and how well they match the search query of the person who did the search. So just think about, what would somebody type into the search bar to arrive at you? What kinds of things would you want to optimize your profile for? And then there's a lot of different places throughout your profile that you can put those keywords in and optimize your profile for LinkedIn.
Awesome. So that about wraps up my questions. Do you have anything that you want to conclude with?
Sure. So, use LinkedIn however you want to use it. It's a great professional development tool that you can use to, use as another tool to impress upon your network. You can use it to find new leads and connections. You can use it to generate referrals for your business practice. You can use it for a number of things, but just make sure that whatever you use it for, you're doing it right. So, follow the steps in this video and do take a few moments to optimize your profile. From that video, we'll flash it on the screen again so you can go to it right now. And that about sums it up.
Right on. Well, thank you for your time, Mr. McCaffrey. It was a pleasure.
All right.
Learned a lot. And thank you for tuning in for episode 1 of Sherpas Talking Shop. Stay tuned for episode 2. Thanks.